So, Jim, I mean, every time you fight, you're making history. You're, charting into uncharted territories, basically doing something that's never even been done before. And again, UFC fight number 33.
Mm-hmm.
Is that getting asked these questions about like having the most fights? Is it getting old at all, or is it kind of refreshing every time?
It's not getting old yet. It's just kind of part of the deal now. I've gotten to this point, and every step forward at this point is going to be kind of something new, and I don't really care about it's something to talk about, right? It's something to talk about other than the basic are you going to kick your opponent's ass, that type of stuff.
Do you ever sit back and like how many of these can I actually do?
I have thought about how many fights that I can do, and I'm still kind of playing it, fight by fight at this point. I was very close to calling it quits a couple years ago, and was able to get things sorted out. It was still a struggle, for a bit there, even knowing that I had Lyme disease. But I really felt a difference in my ability to train in 2018. So this is the best camp that I've had in way too long, man. It's been way too long since I've been able to train to my strengths. If I can continue this, then we'll keep going. But I definitely understand that that last fight's on the horizon, and I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm excited to walk to the octagon knowing it's my last fight, because that's going to be there's not going to be anything left to hold back, So it's going to be just about having fun and leaving one final mark, on the octagon canvas.
Yeah. How do you think? Because you kind of take it fight by fight. How do you think you'll know before the fact that that's going to be that last one?
Because I'm not the type that's going to just do it, emotionally. Have a bad night and just do it right there in the octagon. I need to be prepared for it. My family needs to be prepared for it. So, it's if I can keep my body feeling the way it is, then we'll ride it out a couple more and see how far we can take it. If I kind of slip back down into that hell that I was living in, then I'll say, okay, one more, and I'll suffer through that camp, and we'll get it done.
Right. And you said this is the best camp you've had in a while. Is there anything you can like describe, like a corner that maybe you turn that's just made it feel that way?
For the longest time, I wasn't able to lift. I wasn't able to train like an athlete. The sport is just as much about being an athlete as it is about being technical. You can make up for either one by being really good technician. You can be less of an athlete, really good athlete, less of a technician. But most of us need to work on both, and that's me as well. I won a lot of fights earlier in my career, and off of just being aggressive and pushing the pace and making guys fight for 15 minutes, not letting them, set things up, not letting them get comfortable. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to train to bring that out in myself. I couldn't do the things that I've been doing for years. And I finally have been able to, and it's, I get tired of the Lyme disease talks. Yeah. I don't get tired of how many fights I can get. I get a little tired of it because I don't want it to be like a crutch. I don't want it to be an asterisk. I don't want it to be something that's like, Jim had Lyme disease, I don't want that. I mean, I want to bring as much attention to it as I possibly can, because it is a disease that can affect absolutely anyone. And, I can't imagine, my kids going through what I had to go through. So, it's one of those things that I want as much research and money dumped into it as possible so that other people don't have to deal with it. But yeah, the Lyme attacked my nervous system. It made it really hard for me to do things, to push myself. I could hit pads. I could roll a little bit. I could go for an easy run, but that's not what got me to where I am. And me, it was the pushing myself, and I wasn't able to do that. So it kind of hindered my ability inside the octagon.
Yeah, to have that, there, especially for a fight like this against Clay Guida, who obviously, is going to try to push and has like a high, paced cardio, all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure you just feel so much more prepared for a fight like this because of that, right?
100%. When I got the call for him, a couple weeks ago, it was I was excited because it's like, all right, this is a guy that if I fought 2 years ago, man, he would have just outworked me from bell to bell, because I wouldn't have been able to keep up. But knowing how I had been preparing myself the last few weeks, and knowing that I can push like that again, and doing it in training, I was super excited when I found out I was fighting him. He's a great dude, and it's got the makings of a great fight, and who doesn't like being in those?
Yeah, for sure. And it's the combined 61st UFC fight between the two of you, which is like a record.
It's
for
insane.
A single matchup. So much experience in there. Does it surprise you that you guys have yet to cross paths?
A little bit. He did drop to 45 for a bit there, sure. But this is a fight that easily could have happened in 2009. Yeah. 2010, 2011, and it just never did, and we get to do it now. So it's there are plenty of guys that I haven't fought in the division still. So sure. Yeah, but it's an exciting one. I'm fired up for it.
Yeah, and it's 2019. It's a co-main event on ESPN. Like in your career, when you look at it, especially coming off the really big win last time for you, what do you feel that this fight means in kind of the scope of your guys' career or significance in the division?
It's a great fight between two guys who've been around for a long time. Two guys that have a reputation for fighting. Like going in there and just scrapping. And I'm looking to use it as an opportunity to continue moving forward. Clay's he's a tough fight. He's got some really great wins. He brings a particular skill set into the octagon that's different than a lot of people. And like you said, he's got freaking. It's his 28th fight, something like that, right? Yeah. So I was like, I've seen him fight plenty of times. He's seen me fight plenty of times. So there's really nothing new that either of us can bring to the table. But it'd be a good win. So that's what I'm gunning for.
Yeah, and you look at the matchup. He has the most takedowns landed of any lightweight on the roster right now. You have the most submission attempts. So when this fight hits the ground, which I'm just assuming it will at some point, what does it look like in that situation?
I'm going to be attacking. I'm going after him, and I feel that I'm going to have a grappling advantage, and just attack him. I know he's going to push the pace. I know he's going to work his way inside. He's going to press me against the cage. He's going to use his wrestling, and I'm ready to defend against that and put him in danger.
100%. And the matchup overall, I know coming off that last one, actually, how special it was having your kids there and everything for that moment. Is it going to be the same on Saturday, or are they going to be there again, especially, it's in New Jersey?
Yeah, you know what? They're actually, we're not planning on it. No. We're not planning on it. It's a circus, man. It's a circus. It's to get them all there. It's not just one. It's not Mini Max. Right. It's four of them, and then it's like, okay, well, then we need at least 10 tickets together. Maybe more for all the handlers and wranglers, and and everybody's going to be herding those cats. So. Yeah, at the moment they're not coming, you know. But it is New Jersey, and it's like, hey, if somebody wants to, you know, offer up a box for them.
For sure. I mean, how special was that moment last time? Though, is that something that you know, I'm sure you're going to hold close to for the rest of your life?
Yeah, it was amazing. It really was. It was the stars aligned in that they were able to make it there, and it was easy enough, and you know, like that's something that I wanted to do. I wanted them to experience it, and I've thought about bringing the older ones to fights, but then it's like, well, the two younger ones, and they don't get to do it, and you know, and if I retire, then they'll never get to experience that, and then they'll probably hold that over my head the rest of my life. So I wanted them all to experience it, and being able to go out and have a good performance was, you know, kind of the icing on the cake. It was a little bit weird because my 7-year-old, my older son Wyatt, they were there cage side. They were there. They witnessed everything. We come in the back. He's like, "Dad, did you win?" And I was like, "You were right there." He's like, "Well, it didn't go 3 rounds." I was like, "The guy didn't last 3 rounds, buddy." You know, like,
Didn't realize it was like the best case scenario.
You know, like, I almost feel like it should have been a little bit, you know, maybe if it was a little bit tougher, you know, if it was a little bit more back and forth, maybe it would have, like, but since it happened so quick, it was kind of that flash in the pan, and so maybe they need to come to another one. But the crazy thing is, I didn't know that they were that close. My cornerman saw them as we were walking out. I knew that they were coming down, but I get into such bad tunnel vision at that point that, you know, I'm not even really looking. I have squirted other people's blood onto those seats, like specifically where they're sitting. In relation to the corners, that is exactly where I had Lozon up against the cage and had that the standing side choke and squirted his blood into the front row and ruined somebody's really expensive suit. So it's like, you know, yeah, like, you know, I mean, yeah, like good things, good things happen. You know, that would have been maybe a little bit traumatizing for him, but yeah, it was a great night.